Hey, everybody checking in on Wednesday. 49ers offseason program is in full force. This week was the first week of OTAs, and the media will be allowed out there on Thursday to watch the practice. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. On Wednesday, however, a little bit of news with the 49ers, and a lot of this revolving around special teams. Brant Boyer, who was hired as the 49ers new special teams coordinator, it seems like it's pretty much been given carte blanche to do whatever he sees fit with that part of the team. And what that has meant so far is that they have made some moves. Most notably, Tabor Pepper was released in order for the team to bring in a longtime long snapper, John Weeks. And on Wednesday, another move. I know it's kind of funny when John Lynch talked about the team getting younger. They bring in 39-year-old Thomas Morstead as the punter, and that in effect ends the tenure of Mitch Wishnowsky as the 49ers punter. Now, if you recall, Wishnowsky missed 7 games last season with a back issue, which first flared up during training camp, missed some time during training camp. They brought in a punter to take care of that responsibility during the preseason. And then Wishnowsky had some issues during the season. And now it's quite clear they're moving on from Mitch Wishnowsky, whether that means that he'll be waived or whether the 49ers are able to trade him. That remains to be seen. But Thomas Morstead has arrived in Santa Clara. In fact, he posted on social media a picture of himself outside of Levi Stadium and had the notation that he's very grateful for this opportunity. So he is not coming in to compete. From what I understand, it is his job. And this is a guy that has been kicking around the NFL for a long, long time. First entered the league in 2009. His gross average, his net average, all those very acceptable. And the last 2 seasons he's punted for the New York Jets with Brant Boyer as a special teams coordinator. And so his gross average has been up around 48, 49 yards per kick. But maybe more importantly, the net average has seemingly always been over 40 yards, and that's pretty good. So 49ers making some move on special teams. They brought in some special teamers, guys like Saran Neal, um, Luke Gifford. They brought in, for special teams during the draft, Junior Bergen. So they've made some moves on that side of the ball. And I said the long snapper, the new punter. And I still think that Jake Moody is the odds-on favorite to be the kicker for the 49ers this season. They have brought in a kicker, a veteran kicker, to compete with him, that being Greg Joseph. But when you look at it, I just think that Moody is, like I said, the odds-on favorite. He is a talented guy, just needs to harness that, needs to get his confidence back. And as Vic Tafur from The Athletic chronicled earlier this week, they have his private kicking coach and him have worked on kind of tightening up his kicking style. Instead of a 3-step approach to the kicks, it'll be 2 steps, which probably gives him more accuracy, more control over the kicks, but also maybe limits the range from which he can kick from. So, a guy who's had a strong leg and in the Super Bowl had the 2 kicks over 50 yards in that game. So, making some, I would definitely not minor tinkering, I don't think, for a kicker who's been doing it as long as he has, from, the early youth league stuff all the way through high school and college and first couple of seasons in the pros. So anyway, the major news here on this day is the 49ers remaking their special teams. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch obviously saw the need for major improvements on special teams. And, Kyle Shanahan's long held belief that special teams don't have to win games. They just have to not lose games. I think that is kind of it's not the right message certainly to send to special teams because then it does really kind of minimize the role of special teams. We're not going to debate whether special teams is 1/3 of the game, which I don't think it is, but the 49ers weren't able to be a neutral. And I think that the philosophy should always be aim high, and even if you miss a little bit, you're still okay. So the aiming point should be that special teams can win games for you because that at least gets the team in the right mindset. By just saying, hey, we want to hold on for dear life on special teams, it really has a negative impact. So my belief is that Kyle Shanahan will never say that again. And every time that that's been brought up and kind of thrown back in his face, he has pushed back on that. But the fact of the matter is, he has said that. And now, when we saw last year where the 49ers missed some major opportunities last season to win games early in the season when they were still in it, special teams was a major liability for the 49ers in 2024. So firing Brian Schneider, bringing in Brant Boyer, the 49ers are hoping that they can turn special teams into a major vulnerability into an area that may not necessarily be a strength, but that's what they're shooting for. So once again, the big news: Mitch Wishnowsky will not be with the 49ers this season as the 49ers sign Thomas Morstead. That's a move that will probably be announced later in the day on Wednesday. So Morstead in, Mitch Wishnowsky out, as the 49ers hope to get more consistency and just more overall play, good play, and not game changing for the negative kind of play out of special teams. I guess you could say that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have kind of put their money where their mouth is by bringing in a special teams coordinator, a new special teams coordinator, and then having him kind of set the plan for the offseason with the additions of a long snapper, a new punter, competition at the kicker spot, but also guys who could be core special teams players, guys who can run down, cover kicks, block for the return units and everything else. So that's the big news on a Wednesday. 49ers, Thomas Morstead, the new punter, is in town for the team. Thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like, a comment, and that is it for now.